Welcome to my YouTube channel, Dennis the Monk. I'm Dennis Vysokovsky, and today's topic is the coronavirus, hope and relationship. Now that's a package deal. What I want to share with you and what I do with my presentations is to bring a message that will help you in your moment-to-moment life so that you can have the best of that life can offer. First question for you is, how does an Olympian come to a place where they are a winner or they receive that gold medal? They practice every day. They practice whatever their gift is, they apply it. If it's swimming, if it's running, it's a daily an experience. They eat, drink, and live whatever it is that they're choosing to work at to win the gold medal. Well, when you take that idea of how an Olympian gets to be an Olympian and what they go through, it is oftentimes grueling and it's not all fun. And there needs to be a passion behind that in order to get them through those difficult times where they just don't want to move anymore, or they're too much pain, or whatever it is that is the obstacle that life provides and circumstances provide to overcome. The first thing I want to share with you, and taking that idea of the Olympian, and we're talking about hope and relationship. What is hope? I'm going to read what I have here. Hope is a feeling of wanting something to happen and thinking it could happen, a feeling like something good will come out or something is true. So we can have hope and something to be true, and we hold on to that, and that gives us a sense of center, a sense of peace. Well, what is false hope? False hope is when we have unrealistic expectations for something to happen. And there's no justification or rationalization for the experience. That's false hope. What is faith? Faith is that complete trust and confidence in something or someone that something is going to happen. So I'm going to bring all those together. Sometimes false hope can actually be faith. But at the end of the day, life is about the journey, not the destination. We're all involved globally in this coronavirus. It is affecting us in so many different ways, whether people that we know that are sick or have died, or in the least, we're quarantined. We've quarantined ourselves. We can't go out. The governments around the world are saying this is what you need to do to preserve and protect us. Well, this is a pandemic. This is something that's affecting every person around the globe. And it can be horrifying. It could be an incredibly painful experience. So where does hope come in and where does relationship come in? I'm getting there. When we allow ourselves to be in the moment, when we allow ourselves to stop and take stock of who am I, where am I going, and what do I want? We need to take a really good look at ourselves. For me to have hope right now, and I've never practiced hope, it's going to be difficult, but you have to start somewhere. So today I can hope that everything today is going to be okay. I'm confined, I'm limited, there's all kinds of issues that happen around us, but today I'm going to practice hope. And practicing hope, what we need to do is go into our heart. And our heart, as I shared in so many of my presentations, is the sentinel between the spiritual world and the physical world. The two pillars of the heart that filter the world around us, that enable us to have that sentinel between the spiritual world and the physical world, is objective truth and objective love. When we know what objective love is, and you can watch previous YouTube topics that talk about that, when we look at objective love, and there's 15 attributes of what love looks like, when we look at objective truth, which is logic and reason, we put those together, it's a filter. And that filter enables us to see the world around us a little bit differently than perhaps society or the media want us to see. It's a filter that enables us truly to maintain our core and center. where am I going with this, with the Olympian, and trying and practice? Well, we're in this pandemic. People are frightened. People are petrified. They're afraid for other people. Maybe I'm doing well, but I am consumed with sorrow and fear for other people. A couple things here. One, when there's hope and when it comes to faith, I first need to practice it myself, on myself. I first need to find my center. I first need to be able to go into my heart, discover where that is, so that I can then apply the principles of objective truth and objective love to my personal experience, so that I can start taking care of myself, so I can begin to change, to become that person that I want to be, or better, to become the best version of myself, to become love, to be love, to love and be loved. That's the epitome of life experiences, to be love, to love and be loved. When we come into our heart in that place of center, we can then begin to hope, not having a false hope, but we begin to practice like the Olympian, hoping and remembering what we're hoping for, so that when the gift arises or the whatever we're hoping for occurs, we take a mental note of that and keep on remembering every single time when we have had hope and that hope has come true. It's not just to get us through the moment, it's an experience, as is faith. As I shared before, what is faith? Faith is being able to believe in something or have confidence and trust with someone or even a higher power, God, and know that's going to happen. Well, just like hope, when we practice faith, like the Olympian, on ourselves, when we take our own personal experience and believe and trust because we're moving from our heart, that place of objective love and objective truth, and we're there, not in our mind, where the ego is, where our mind tells us we're better than or less than. Our mind seldom embraces humility. Humility is being honest with self, others, and a higher power, which I choose to call God. So the mind is very difficult and oftentimes can manipulate us and cause a sense of false fear or cause a sense of false lot of things. So that's why our mind has an intellect, so doesn't our heart. And we move down into our heart to be in that place of objectivity, of objective love, objective truth. When we begin to make those choices through the filter of the heart, they begin to have ripple effects in our life and the people around us. I'm sure you've heard the saying, you can't change others. The only one that you can change is yourself. Better yet, when we change ourselves, it has an effect, in rippling effect of affecting other people, that they change. So we start with ourselves. When we can begin to have faith in our own personal life and begin to have hope within our own personal life, then our faith can grow to encompass other people, to have faith for the wellness and the goodness of others. But it's a practice. It's a daily practice. And where does God fit into all this? And this is my next point, is that in each moment of our life, the good, the bad, and the ugly, when we allow God or our higher power, whatever you want to call them, when we turn to them and give them the moment, whether it's a moment of joy or goodness or even sorrow, we give it to them. We abandon ourselves in that moment to them and giving this, whatever it is that we're giving. Every time we do that, we open our heart to the universe or to God. And God becomes a part of our interaction of objective truth and objective love that strengthens our ability to have hope, that strengthens our ability to have faith. And then our faith becomes transformed with God. But it's a practice, day-to-day practice, moment-to-moment practice. I want to tell you a quick story of someone that I know that has gone through this process, and it's extraordinary. I won't mention her name. I'm going to call her Jane. Jane lives in Europe, and they are confined right now with the coronavirus. They can't leave their home, their apartment. The police are on every corner making sure that no one leaves. Now, a few months ago, actually about 5 months ago, she has a brother. They have a business, family-owned business. The parents, brother, sister, and sister is my friend, who I'm calling Jane. I think that's the name I gave her. Well, their brother John decided, who was a very selfish man, decided he didn't want to work with their business anymore. In fact, he didn't show up most of the time. Everyone in the industry knew that he wasn't a good man, and he was taking advantage of his sister and his mother and his father. But the parents were enabling him, and it was such a history of this experience of giving into this young man and letting him get away with not being responsible and accountable. Well, the sister, my friend Jane, has learned about the ways of the heart, has learned about accountability and responsibility, has learned about how to have hope, has learned about how to change herself and not trying to change other people. Now, in the midst of this coronavirus, the brother is now crying. Nobody loves him. No one's helping him. Well, he always took for himself. He has stolen. He's done so many bad things, and now he's crying because he feels alone. Well, what do you do in that situation? Where does faith, hope, and relationship come in? Well, it comes into this place that because my friend Jane has been practicing these principles, she's able in a crisis time to say, no, I cannot help you because you chose for years not to help yourself in a positive way, but only in a negative way by taking, not giving and receiving, the universal principles again that are most important. Giving and receiving, he took. And now he squandered everything that he had. He squandered all the money he had, and he wants more, but in a desperate time when people don't have. What I'm most proud of with my friend Jane is that she was able to say, I first need to take care of myself. She had the courage to confront her parents and say, no more. He has hurt us, he has stolen from us, and now he wants from us when we have so little. He's had enough. He needs to take care of himself. He's burnt so many bridges, but he always goes back to a family that keeps on giving to him, and he never learns. Well, unfortunately, he has to learn now. I'm proud of my friend Jane because she has taken these universal principles that I just shared with you into her life, and she did something she could not have done a year ago. And a year ago, she would have allowed the abuse. She would have allowed it to happen, and she would have just been in so much pain. How can you have hope? Where is faith in all this? Well, the hope is I will take care of myself, and I'll take care of my parents for Jane. And I will be okay today. And I just need to get through each moment. And I need to bring God into that moment so that indeed I can allow God to take care of me in that moment. And then in the next moment, in the next day, we can look back on yesterday and say, look at how God has taken care of me. And we build the experience of trusting in God and what God will do for us without judgment. And when something goes wrong, without judging what is happening or why is this happening to me, it's an opportunity to wait and to see what God really had in store for us through that negative thing that we saw happen. Everything that happens, the good, bad, and the ugly, can turn to glorify God, the universe, and bless us only if we allow it. Life is not about a destination. It's about the journey. And the journey is in each moment that we choose to be mindful and aware. And we are mindful and aware in the moment. We will be blessed. And it's exactly there in those moments that miracles take place. And I hope that you will allow those miracles to take place in your own life, particularly now in this time that's really challenging for all of us around the world. Thank you for joining me on Dennis the Monk. I am Dennis Vysokovsky. I'll be returning next week. Same time, same mustache, and same heart that is open to sharing everything that I know about God and universal principles that can enable you to have an abundant life and love and be surrounded by people who love and cherish you and whom you love and cherish. Have a great day.